Family, one of the things that I hope all of you are starting to understand out here is that we are in a time and a climate in this country right now, as far as dealing with racism and white supremacy, where this is something that is never safe to do. If you're black, you do not need to be isolating yourself. If you can help it in situations like this with the dominant society. As you can see from the title of this article here, a lot of you have probably already seen this. I definitely had to cover this now that I'm actually having some time to actually address this issue. Thousands call for investigation into Elijah Weatherspoon's death. Now, this was very sad because this is one reason why we all keep trying to tell y'all that all these white people talking about they don't see color and all of that foolishness. You better not be a black person that's taking that at face value. Let's get into this article. I want you all to hear what happened to this young brother. More than 50,000 people have signed a petition calling for Elijah Weatherspoon's death to be investigated. The 18-year-old died on a boating trip in South Carolina. He was on the boat with 7 friends, but little is known about what happened or why he died. His body was found in the water several days later, and his family has said they've gotten conflicting reports about what happened. Okay, and they're telling you some facts here on this. They're saying Elijah Weatherspoon's body was found several days after he went missing on the boat. Okay, now these were all other white people. He was the only black person out there at the time. Weatherspoon went missing on the boat on the Cooper River near Ravenel Bridge in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina on Thursday, June 25th. The South Carolina Department of Natural Resources told Live 5 that they responded to a missing boater call that Thursday around 11 p.m. The Coast Guard suspended its search for Weatherspoon on Friday night after searching for more than 250 square miles. ABC News reported. Okay, and as you see, this is the tweet here where they were talking about it, saying that the local agencies are searching for an 18-year-old black male, 6 feet, between 160 and 170 pounds, with short hair, wearing U.S. flag swim trunks, no shirt, who went missing in the water near Ravenel Bridge. If you see him, with the contact information, that's the update from that site there, or the U.S. Coast Guard near that area. Weatherspoon's body was found by Sullivan's Islands Fire and Rescue on Sunday, June 28, Fox 28 reported. His body was found on a sandbar near Sullivan's Island around 9:40 a.m., Live 5 reported. Family attorney Javarin Buckley Sr. told Live 5 that his body was found by people on the beach, not by rescue crews. He said people called him about finding the body when the police wouldn't take their information. Captain Robert McCulloch told Live 5 that Sullivan's Island search crews found Weatherspoon's body. Weatherspoon's cause of death is not yet known. The South Carolina Department of Natural Resources said an autopsy is underway. Live 5 reported. Deputy Coroner Elizabeth Dobbins told Live 5 at this time the cause of death is pending awaiting autopsy. The South Carolina Department of Natural Resources said their investigating doesn't indicate foul play so far. 2 online petitions have said that Mount Pleasant Police Department isn't investigating the case. The Mount Pleasant Police Department posted on Facebook that the case is under the jurisdiction of the South Carolina Department of Natural Resources. Okay? Yeah, y'all see this, man? See, this is why we're telling y'all, man, I don't care what kind of friends you think you have, you better pay attention to what's going on across this country. You don't know these people. You don't. You don't know what they're going to do when you isolate yourself in situations like this, where if something happens to you, all of them can get on code and just make up any story they want. Black family, you better talk to your children, boys and girls alike. I hate what happened to this brother, but his parents should have been talking to him from an honest point of view about what's going on in this country right now. Now read what they're saying happened. Listen to this. One witness said he jumped from the boat and someone who tried to help him had to be rescued. The number of people on the boat with Weatherspoon ranges from 7 to 9 depending on the source. An online petition says there were 8 including Weatherspoon, and officials told Live 5 they interviewed 9 people. South Carolina Department of Natural Resources said a witness told them that Weatherspoon had jumped off the boat and never resurfaced. Another witness said they made contact with him. It's not clear what made contact means or what happened immediately before Weatherspoon was in the water. See, this is when you get these many conflicting reports and it's a group of white people talking like this, you know some fucked up shit happened that they're trying to cover up. According to Live 5, the Coast Guard said another person from the same boat had to be rescued, an 18-year-old friend who had jumped in to try to help Weatherspoon. That person was in good condition. Robert McCullough, the spokesman, told Live 5 the facts seemed to indicate that a young man went off the back of the boat into the water. One of the other boys in the boat went after him, made contact, but could not get him out. If anything comes up, if there's any foul play or anything like that we will pursue it to the end if anything comes up. I will say this too. Accidents happen. No. See, before I go on any further, I want y'all to ask yourself something. Family, do you think that a group of 7 black people can go out on a boat with a white person and that white person not come back and there not be a full immediate criminal investigation into what happened? Oh yeah, I went there with it. Continuing on. McCullough added, I really hate to say it, but I can't tell you how many times somebody will jump in the water to either cool off or just never come up. It's the weirdest. It's very odd that happens, but it does. Oh boy, see, this is what being on code is all about. You know that right now, those kids, some of their parents are friends with these law enforcement officials. They're not trying to see any of their children go to prison or jail over a nigger. Yeah, I said it, because that's what they looking at him as. They're not in mourning. They're not sorry. They're not nothing. Their family members are worrying about their white children. Let's continue. However, the family and their attorney have said they've been told conflicting stories about what happened. Of course you have, because they're lying. Buckley told Charleston City Paper that drowning was far-fetched. He said Weatherspoon was a good swimmer and the family needs more information. Okay, now this is what the family's attorney is talking about here. A friend of Weatherspoon's aunt started a petition on change.org to investigate his death. The petition notes that Weatherspoon was black and Puerto Rican and on a boat with 7 white friends. The petition reads in part, on the night of June 25th, 2020, Elijah, a black Puerto Rican, 18-year-old male, went boating in the Cooper River in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, with 7 of his white friends. Yeah, he thought they was his friends. Elijah did not come home that night. His body was found June 28, 2020 in the Cooper River. The events leading up to his death are unclear and are being treated as if he was just another black man who couldn't swim and drowned, when in fact he can swim. He could swim, rather. The people who were with him have stories that do not match up. He fell out the boat, hit his head on a rock. He fell out the boat and his friend tried to save him and couldn't. He jumped off the boat himself and refused to get back in and drowned. These are just some of the circumstances his family has been told. Now, y'all see that many different stories that his so-called 7 white friends gave about this thing? Y'all see that? I'm going to break down what I think happened at the end of this article. At the time of the publication, more than 57,000 people had signed the petition. Buckley told Five Live that there were a number of inconsistencies and that they are doing their own investigation. They're asking anyone with information to come forward. Okay? Now, this is what his aunt is saying. She was mentioning that he was a great swimmer, and what happened to him doesn't make sense. Weatherspoon's aunt, Debbie Eliza Perez, posted on Facebook about some of the inconsistencies around what happened to her nephew. She said he was a football player and had been working hard to get his life back on track. He has a family that adored him, loved him, and misses him terribly, she wrote. She wrote that the family was told that he jumped into the water to use the restroom, and a lifeguard told him not to panic, but then he did. None of this is making any sense. She wrote in a public post on Facebook, yes, the stories of what went down and so many missed clues that were pointed out to us. Last story was that he so-called backflipped over the boat to use the restroom. Man, listen. And they saw him go up and then down and didn't see him again. So the so-called lifeguard jumped in, told him not to panic. Then he panics and I don't know the rest. Literally, it's like the story stops there and then all these people said he didn't know how to swim. We ain't stupid. My nephew was like a fish. The boy knew how to swim. Another relative commented that the family is not giving up until they learn the truth. There's another petition with more than 46,000 signatures as of the time of the publication. It was started by Laura Harwell. She said that she started the petition at the request of his mother and her best friend, Melanie Perez. That petition, a reason part. I'll post a link to this so you all can read this petition, because that petition reading crap, man. I mean, petitions ain't going to get justice. That's where it ends. And I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all what I think happened to this brother, man. He was out there on this boat with these so-called 7 white friends. They probably got into some type of disagreement. There was a fight. Alcohol was involved. And he probably whooped one of their asses. And then all of them jumped on him, killed this brother, and threw him overboard. That's what I think happened. All of those conflicting stories that they talking about don't make sense. That don't make sense, man. Then his family saying he was a very good swimmer. And they don't say it, saying this don't make any sense to them. But see, you know what? Here's the thing. And I'm going to say this to y'all, as I've been telling y'all, man. When you look at these people's history with us, when you look at what's going on in this country present day, no sane, sound-minded black person is going to approve their black children, male or female, going off with a bunch of white people out on the ocean, mind you, away from their supervision. That's just not smart to do, family. I don't care how many of them you dating. If you are a smart black parent, this case right here, if it doesn't wake you up, the case of Tamla Horsford, y'all remember that? Same scenario. One black person around a group of white people, all of a sudden she ends up mysteriously dead. And all of them on code. Nobody knows what happened. Nobody can explain anything. And as you see, law enforcement is covering up for these people. Family, y'all better understand we're in a war out here, man. Do not put yourselves in vulnerable situations. Even if you're grown, don't do that. See, that's one thing down here in the South that has been taught to us by our great-grandparents, grandparents, and if you had parents with sense, you don't go nowhere alone with a group of white people like that and you the only black person. You don't. It makes no sense. Especially today. Who's to say that another scenario with this might not have been that they planned this all along? They might have planned this all along. You never know. He could have had some type of disagreement with them. They offered to squash it and invited him out. I mean, you don't put yourself behind enemy lines like that. And that's exactly what that is. But see, I know that some of you are hard-headed. A lot of y'all not going to listen. And you better understand something. This could be you next if you put yourself in that situation. Black family, learn from this. I hope they get justice for this brother's family. But prevent defense is always better. Ounce of prevention, always better than a pound of cure. That being said, black family, stay safe. See you all in future content.